trying to do. You're
like
boxing me
barging
in. I
into the
get what you're
dressing
doing.
rooms
I understand.
of two different women and unconsensually looking at their naked bodies. You're saying in the first scenario, it makes him a predator. In the second scenario, it does not make him a predator because the second man is in Hollywood and the first man isn't.
Well, okay. Let me. You and I both know there's perversion left and right in the proverbial Hollywood, all over the place. It's all over the place. So when I hear of shit going down of a sexual nature in Hollywood, I think to myself, yeah, what's new? Now, I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's good.
So you're just saying that because a lot of men do that to women in Hollywood, therefore it doesn't make Trump a sexual predator.
I think that you're
just saying, oh, like what's new? Like you don't really care. You just don't really care when men in Hollywood violate.
It's not about not caring. It's about
why doesn't that make him a sexual predator?
Why doesn't what make him a sexual predator? Because
the fact that he unconsensually looked at the naked body of women and little girls. Why does that not make him a sexual predator?
Whoa. What's with the little girls part? What are we throwing that in for?
He also did this at Miss Teen USA. We had 4 little girls at Miss Teen USA come forward, aged 15 to 17, and say that Donald Trump did this to them. They all gave the same account, that he'd barge into their dressing rooms when they were naked, and he'd say, don't worry, ladies, I've seen it all before. And there was even a woman from Miss USA that recalled him doing this to the girls at Miss Teen USA. And she also said once again that he did this to some girls as young as 15.
Right.
But I don't understand why you have like the whoa reaction to the minors, but you don't have the whoa reaction to the adults.
Okay, my answer to this, or my response, is Orrin Hatch was right. If you're going to be a part of the public sphere, you need to have not just private virtues, but also public virtues as well. Trump is not a personally virtuous person. That being said, I'm not interested, I mean, I am, but I'm not really interested in whether or not the president or those who represent me are the types that I could necessarily hang out with or leave alone with my daughter, but more interested in what they do as far as my income is concerned, what it has to do with the safety of our nation, our borders, trying to get out of things that are not cost effective. Again, I'm not saying I want a rapist in there, but again, I will always look at Hollywood and what goes on in that sphere differently than your Coles example. Always. One's disgusting. One's just, I guess, kind of fucked up that, that, like you said, with the fucking exercise places, right? Some of them are a little bit more closed in. Some of them you gotta, walk around, open up a door. Others are more readily accessible. And if Trump walking in there, again, we're not talking about the Miss Teen shit, but I don't know if any of that validity is true or if that's just a whole bunch of hearsay of he saw me naked. You mean he saw you in a tutu? Same thing. I don't know, but just going with the one that you said from with him and the idiot. Oh God, one that you had me listen to. What's his name? Howard Stern, yeah. That one I kind of more look at like, that's not the same thing as walking in and having and seeing, or excuse me, the Coles thing.
Why?
Because one is actually perverted, one is actual NBC sexual predator.
Yeah, one is why is one actually perverted and why is the other not actually perverted? Like, what are the reasons?
Because I think that sexuality as a whole in Hollywood is a degradation. I think it's a degradation state of being. Like the atmosphere alone that's going going to happen. It's going to happen. Look at Kamala Harris.
So basically,
the reason why she's popular is because she sucked off Montel. I mean,
okay. So I don't know where your false claims about Harris came from. We'll go over those in a bit. So you're saying because that sexual exploitation, perversion, rape, and so on is going to happen in Hollywood. When it does happen in Hollywood, it's therefore not perverted.
I don't think that really falls underneath the same construct of sexual perversion, the same way that the Coles example illustrates.
But why? In both scenarios, there's a man unconsensually looking at the naked body of a woman in a woman's only space.
Right, but you're making it sound as though he again barged in through doors. I don't give a fuck. You know,
Yeah.
here I am.
Yeah, he said
you
it
know,
in the
some
clip that he
Jeffrey
found it funny.
Epstein like shit. When
He said
really
in the
that's
clip
not
that he found it funny.
right. So when he did say that I used to grab him by the P word, right? You're saying that also too, since the girl didn't say, "Hey, grab me by my whatever," that was also unwarranted, making him a sexual predator as well.
Yes.
Oh God! So again, no matter what's said,
But
without
I just-
the details, to you, it's just sexual predator.
Yes.
There's
When
no
a
difference
man-
between Trump and
when a-
some
when a
dude
man-
meeting up with some 14-year-old girl, saying that her parents are away. They are the same thing in your book.
Yes. When a man barges in to a woman's only
Barges in
dressing
again.
room and then looks at the naked women and girls inside, okay,
Yep.
for sexual reasons, that man is a sexual predator. Let's see if you could agree with the following statement. Can you agree that in all scenarios of a man unconsensually going inside of a woman's dressing room and looking at the naked bodies of women and or girls for sexual purposes, that man is a sexual predator?
Yes.
So if Donald Trump unconsensually went in to a woman's dressing room and looked at the naked bodies of women and or girls for sexual purposes, that man is a Donald Trump is a sexual predator, correct?
So he went in there looking at them for sexual purposes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow your line of logic, and I'm not going to.
I just want to know. I just want to know. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we know that Donald Trump unconsensually went into a woman's dressing room because he said he did. We know that when he was inside of the woman's dressing room, he looked at the naked bodies of women and or girls because he said he did. He said that they had no clothes on and they looked incredible. And we know that Donald Trump did so for sexual reasons, because the reason why Donald Trump shared this story with Howard Stern was because
Or that
Howard
he just
Stern
went in
asked
there
him
and
about the sexual things that he'd do with his beauty pageant contestants. So because you said it is true that if Donald Trump did what he said he did, he would be a sexual predator, it is therefore true that Trump is a sexual predator.
Okay. If I go, all right. Yes. Yes. If
So
I
you
go
accept
into
that Donald Trump is a sexual predator?
in this, yes, I do.
Okay,
I will
earlier you
concede.
said that you wouldn't support Trump as president if he was a sexual predator.
That's because you are using terms like barged in for sexual purposes. You are inflating.
Just do you accept that earlier you said that you
Yes, I
wouldn't
do.
support
Yes.
Trump
Yes.
if he was a sexual
Yes.
predator?
I do not see him as a sexual predator. And let me just ask you something.
You just said that he was 5 seconds ago.
I do not see it, the sexual predator aspect. I'm agreeing with you.
You just said he was
because you're
less than a second
boxing
ago.
me in with words and phrases that you cannot get out of. Meaning, like, did he or did he not barge into there? Well, yeah, he did. Well, that's horrible, is it not? Yes, it is. There's no way a reasonable mind is not going to say that's bad. But let me ask you this: if I go into a bar, okay, and I drink, and I happen to run into a chick who's drinking as well, right? One thing leads to another. We start making out, a little bit of groping happens, right? What if at that point of groping, she goes, "I never gave you consent." Am I a predator?
Yeah, you should stop groping
Whoa.
her 110%. I'm muting you because I'm writing this out. Are all men who unconsensually... Let's get this bigger. There we go. Put it on YouTube too. You're on mute, by the way. Are all men who unconsensually go into women's dressing rooms to look at the naked bodies of women without consent for sexual reasons sexual predators? If Trump went into a woman's dressing room to look at the naked bodies of women without consent for sexual reasons, would Trump be a sexual predator? So in order for Trump to be a sexual predator, 3 things have to be true. He has to go into woman's dressing room. He has to look at naked bodies of women without consent. He has to be doing so with sexual reasons. Okay. We have our framework. Great. I'm going to send you an invite to unmute your microphone. Okay, we're going to go through this very methodically now because you have made this necessary. I sent you an invite to turn your mic on. Hit your profile picture in the bottom right-hand corner of that phone screen. Turn your microphone back on. Let's start with a highlighted question at the top of the phone screen. Yes or no? Are all men who go into women's dressing rooms to look at the naked bodies of women without consent for sexual reasons sexual predators?
Yes.
Yes. If Donald Trump went into a woman's dressing room to look at the naked bodies of women without consent for sexual reasons, would Trump be a sexual predator?
Yes.
Yes. So therefore,
Nope. No, therefore.
Trump has to do three things in order to be a sexual predator, right? He has to, 1, go into a woman's dressing room. 2, look at the naked bodies of women without consent. And 3, do this with sexual reasons. Do you agree that if Donald Trump did all three of these things, Donald Trump would be a sexual predator? Oh my God.
Yes.
Okay. Do you accept that Donald Trump went into a woman's dressing room?
That he physically was in the room. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Do you accept that he looked at the naked bodies of these women without their consent?
See, now this is where, again, you're going to lose me. No.
Why?
Because no female, right, in the real world, unless, like, again, there's like no, you don't fill out like a form. Can I hold your hand? Can I kiss you? Can I do this? Can I look at you? Is that okay? Because I don't want to, go against your consent. That's not real, Dean. That's not real. And that's what I mean by you're conflating the reality of like an
you're saying
actual predator.
Are you saying that he did it with consent or without consent? Because it's either
I'm
true
saying,
that this
I'm
action
saying that
was
it
with their consent or
incidentally
without their
happened.
consent.
I think that it incidentally
No. There's two
That they
possible
were
options
naked.
here. Listen,
He may or may not have known that they were, but we'll never know.
listen. There's two possible options here. He
Right.
either did this to them with their consent, or he did this to them without their consent. There's
I
no
need your
third
consent
option.
before you can hand me that.
I just want to know.
No, my wife walked in the room. I had to ask
Are
her
you
for
arguing?
consent.
Are you
I thought she
arguing?
understood.
Are you arguing that he did this with their consent?
I don't think either consent or force.
What's the third
Either.
option?
Incidentally, like
And what is
in the
what is
room.
it- what does that mean?
They might have been naked. That.
Okay, the reason why you're wrong is because they were in a woman's dressing room. Do you agree that women inside of women's dressing rooms have a reasonable expectation of privacy away from men?
In Hollywood, boy, that's a tough one, brother. Yeah. I mean, you'd like to think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so therefore he did it without their consent. Because if they have a reasonable expectation of privacy,
But were they ever going to come
men,
out and say, "Hey,
Well,
come on in, my titties are out"? Dean,
one moment.
come on.
So if they wanted him to see them while they were naked and changing, then
Yeah.
they wouldn't have changed in the woman's dressing room, considering the fact that that is a space where men can't go into.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Again.
So because they have a reasonable expectation of privacy away from men, okay, because men can't go into women's dressing rooms, do you accept that it was done without their consent? By the way, this is what the women have said. Mariah Bellotto.
That they said that it was without our without our consent.
Yeah,
It's just
Mariah
such a
Bellotto
stupid
from
phrase,
Miss Teen
but
USA
okay.
in 1997 said that he just waltz in without our consent and look at us naked. We had 3 other teens from that same year say that Donald Trump would just waltz in without our consent and look at us naked. We had Tasha Dixon, who was Miss USA from 2001. He said that he just waltz in without our consent and look at us naked. You had multiple women, multiple women who all said this. And once again, outside of this being the testimony of the women
Poor
and girls who this
taste.
happened
You
to.
got me. It's poor taste.
Outside of the women and girls who this happened to, from
Yep.
different years that never met each other at different pageants,
Yep.
all saying the same thing.
Yep.
It's also just implied by the nature of the space that Trump went into. It is of the nature for a woman's dressing room that men are not allowed in. And if men do come in, they are doing so without consent. So can we agree that it is true that he therefore looked at their naked bodies without consent?
They did not give him permission to look at their naked bodies. You are correct.
Last one. Can we agree that he did so with sexual reasons?
So now it's about he went in there, looked at the 16-year-old for.
Listen.
I'll watch my mouth.
I just want to know.
I'll watch my mouth.
I just want to know. Can we agree that he did so with like sexual reasons?
No, we
Okay.
cannot just agree blindly to that.
Okay, perfect. I'll give you the proof. The proof is that Donald Trump was asked by Howard Stern about the sexual things that he would do with the beauty pageant contestants. Howard Stern was like, "Have you ever slept with one of the beauty pageant contestants?"
Sure.
Okay. Have you ever done anything sexual with the beauty pageant contestants? That
Right.
was the topic of dialogue. And then Trump was like, "Well, I'll tell you what I will do." And then that's when he shared the story about going into the dressing rooms to look at them. And he pointed out
Those are
how
two separate
incredible they
things
looked
now,
when they
yeah.
were naked. Okay.
Those are two separate
So
things.
that's what proves that he did so with sexual reason.
No,
because
come on. If he slept with
this
somebody,
was-
if he slept
this
with
was-
the beauty pageant,
no,
that's
listen
one
to
thing.
me. Listen to me.
Okay.
The reason why we could make this very basic inference is because this was Donald Trump's answer to the question, what are the sexual things that you've done with the beauty pageant contestants? His
He
answer to
pivoted.
that question was going into the dressing rooms to look at them while they were naked.
He pivoted. You know that. You even
What's
said
the
it.
pivot?
The pivot was, well, I'll tell you what I did do. That's the pivot.
The pivot to his answer to the general question of the sexual things he's done to the beauty pageant contestants.
That was a separate question. He wasn't going to go into that because obviously,
No,
for whatever reason.
he went into that after too, about how he would sleep with the winner of Miss USA every year, and sometimes they were beautiful and other times they weren't.
And by the way, you just saying that kind of more proves what I was saying earlier.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So
if
do
these
you-
same women,
so-
if
so-
these same women who are going to
and
sleep
the
with
clip-
him
well,
are
one
all of
moment.
a sudden not going to let him look at him naked because without their consent is kind of dumb.
Okay, we'll talk about it then in a bit. I don't even think he slept with them. Okay, because he was calling them ugly.
Oh.
And
So he's
on
lying.
top of that, it wasn't like the winner was in the only person in that dressing room. Nor, okay, nor it also. You're breaking my
I think
brain
that
that I
all
have to
those
explain
women,
these very
Dean,
simple
would've slept
concepts.
with Trump if
You're
they were given the opportunity,
you're breaking
bro.
my fucking brain that I have to explain these simple concepts. Even if a woman would consent a year in the future to having sex with you, does not
Yep.
give you the consent today to barge into her house and look at her naked. And now you're saying, I bet they all would have slept with Trump if given the opportunity. That is
Probably.
rapist logic.
God.
You think the same way rapists do. Rapists say, I bet that she would have let me do it if I asked her. Therefore, I'm going to do it to her without
But
asking.
here you go again. Rape is a
Okay.
violent act. Again,
It is another form of sexual violence. Okay, so can we agree that Donald Trump did so with sexual intent because Howard Stern asked him about the sexual things that he do to the beauty pageant contestants? He
No.
said, but he was talking about how incredible they looked when they didn't have clothes on. What would the
Shut
other
up.
reason? What would the other reason outside of sexual intent be to share the story after Howard Stern asks him about the sexual things he do with them, and then he points out that they looked incredible when they were naked, and then he goes on to talk about sex with them? What would the other intention be outside of sexual intention?
If I look at a beautiful woman,
No, I don't want to fucking question you, absolute idiot. I don't want to question you,
This is
moron.
crashing out.
I want to. Yes, I am crashing out. I am absolutely crashing out because it is time for sick men like you to go away and never come back. You don't have a place in modern society. You were for 500 years ago, and even then, you should have lived in the woods for the rest of your life. You don't have a place in society. You don't. Men who think like you. Oh, I bet they would have consented. I don't fucking care. It's Hollywood. You could abuse, neglect, rape, exploit, do do anything you want to women and girls because they don't matter. They're fucking objects. Oh, and by the way, they would have consented if they had the opportunity to. So therefore, Donald Trump looking at the naked bodies of 15-year-old girls is perfectly fine. And on top of that, he didn't do it with any sexual intention whatsoever, even though this was the story that he shared with Howard Stern after Howard Stern asked him about the sexual things that he do with the beauty pageant contestants, and he made a fucking point about how incredible they looked when they didn't have clothes on. And then further yet, on top of that, if he wasn't doing this for sexual intention, then what would his intention be? I could identify about 2 intentions for doing this. The first intention for barging in to a woman and girl's dressing room where you know they are naked to then look at their naked bodies and call them incredible is sexual intention. The second intention that I could think about for doing this is being drugged up on about every controlled substance that exists and being completely detached from reality and operating subconsciously because your brain is permanently fried and you're going to spend the rest of your life in an institution. Those are the 2 and only 2 intentions I could possibly think about for Trump to do this. So my question to you is, what was the intention?
Is it my turn now?
What was the intention for him to barge into the woman's dressing room
let me answer,
without their consent, to look at their naked bodies, and then to make a point to Howard Stern about how incredible their naked bodies looked after Howard Stern had asked him about the sexual things that he'd do with the beauty pageant contestants?
Looking at a beautiful woman and admiring her looks, and then discussing a separate topic of even sleeping with
It's not looking at a beautiful woman and admiring her looks. It is unconsensually going into a dressing room and looking at the naked bodies of women and children and calling their bodies incredible, then talking about how you would have sex with some of them. If his intention was not sexual, then what was his intention?
We're going to have to agree to disagree here, dude.
What was his intention?
Your logic.
What was his intention? What was his intention, you fucking idiot? What was his intention?
Well, which part?
What was his intention for going inside of the dressing rooms to look at their naked bodies? What was his intention?
To look.
To look why? No, the intention is the question of why did he do this?
Because women are beautiful, and most men think women are beautiful, and especially when they don't have clothes on.
So you're
What's
saying
your point?
the reason why he wanted to look at their naked bodies is because they're beautiful. So why do men want to look at the naked bodies of quote-unquote beautiful women?
So you're asking me, like,
why do men want to look at the naked bodies of beautiful women? No, you shut up. You shut up, you fucking dweeb. Why do men want to look at the naked bodies of beautiful women?
I mean, is that what you're doing right now?
Can we agree the reasons why men want to look at the naked bodies of beautiful women are sexual?
It can be. Sure.
Okay, so then you concede he looked at them with sexual reasons.
No.
Then what was the other reason? Then what's the other reason, you fucking idiot? You absolute fucking moron. You low IQ, no brain idiot. You absolute droid. I don't even know how you wake up and brush your teeth in the morning. How do you rub those 2 brain cells together in order to produce a fucking toothpaste on a toothbrush that you then use to clean your teeth in the morning? You're so fucking stupid. I don't even know how you do that. What would the other reason be? In fact, you know what? No, I want you to listen. I want you to listen to the entirety of the clip. And then after I play you the entirety of the clip, I want you to tell us with a straight fucking face that the reasons why he did this were not sexual.
Look, you're meeting the girls this night. One of them comes up to you and says, Mr. Trump, you're a very sexy man.
You're a beautiful man. You have fantastic hair.
Well, you're a powerful man. Right? You're a powerful man.
Right.
I want to sleep with you. Now, you're not the type that would say no.
I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right. No, but I mean, you see a beautiful woman, you want to have that. You're a guy who likes to have everything, right?
Well, couldn't that be construed, however, as
conflict?
Yes.
Well, I don't see it as a conflict.
It could be a conflict of interest, but it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And,
well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. and I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. You know, I'm inspecting.
Right,
I want to
right.
make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? You know, they're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
So I'd like to clarify. Right before he talks about how he is going to go and look at these incredible looking naked women in their dressing rooms, he's talking about having sex with women and greeting their vaginas. So what was the reason why he looked at those incredibly looking naked women in the dressing rooms?
In my opinion, two separate things. Two separate things.
So then why does he say, I'll tell you what I do is, and then he talks about looking at women's vaginas?
Continue the conversation with Howard Stern? I don't fucking know.
Howard Stern is like, oh, they greet you with their vaginas. And then he's like, here's this story about me looking at their vaginas.
It's a euphemism.
And those are two. I just want to clarify. I just want to clarify. When Howard Stern is like, will they greet you with their vaginas? And then Trump is like, here's a story about me looking at their vaginas. You think that those are two different things?
I think that.
Do you think that those are two different things? When Stern
Yes.
is like,
if you're not going to let me talk, or we can't have an exchange.
yeah,
back and
oh my
forth,
god,
it's like,
oh my
like a
god,
1
oh
second
my god,
time
you're
thing
an
here.
idiot. Are you a rapist? Are you actually? You might be a fucking rapist. I'm not saying that you are.
God,
I'm not
dude.
saying that you are a rapist, but I'm saying that you have all of the qualities and traits representative of the mental states of rapists.
All right. I know the difference between people who are in Hollywood who do perverted things and an actual
What-
full blown. I'm going to attack you because I
Tell
want
me
what
why
I
I'm
want."
wrong. Tell me
They're
why
two
the
separate
following.
things.
Tell me why the following argument is wrong. The reason why we know Donald Trump's intentions with walking into that dressing room to look at the naked women were sexual is because he said that he would look at their naked bodies and they looked incredible. And he shared this story when talking about sexual things with women with Howard Stern. Where did I go wrong in my argument?
Because you conflate a violent act.
We're not talking. No. We're talking. I'm asking you to tell me why I'm wrong in yielding the conclusion that his intentions with doing so were sexual.
Because he has to be the one to make sure that the pageant or whatever the hell the function was going the way that it was supposed to. He took advantage of his position, clearly, going in there. And then incidentally, there's beautiful women all over the place. That happened. I'm not saying it didn't.
What
He
was,
admitted to it.
I'm asking you to prove me wrong. I believe the reason why he went in there, the reasons were sexual by nature. Why am I
Was to
wrong
look.
in stating that
Because
the
all he was
reasons
going
were
in there to do
sexual
was
by
look.
nature?
He was going in there to look.
Do you agree that all you do when you watch porn is you look, but that is still yet sexual by nature because it's pornography?
Oh man. Okay. I guess
even
down
though
to
you're
a
just
sliver.
looking?
Yes. Yes. Is it in the sexual world?
Because we're,
Sure.
we're talking about the intentions of why he went into that space.
Right, but if you use the word predator, violence,
No.
rape,
We're not using any words like predator. No. We're just
were. You
trying to
have been this
determine.
whole
We're
time.
trying to determine the reasons why Trump went into that space. I understand that you are very stupid, so you can't track any conversation in the slightest. I'm saying the reasons why he went into that space were sexual by nature. What are you saying those reasons were? What were
with the sliver
the
being of the
reasons
sexual nature?
Trump
I'm trying to answer you.
did this? Okay, so we're trying to determine the reasons why Trump went into a woman's dressing room without consent to look at the naked bodies of the people inside, and then Donald Trump shared this story with Howard Stern after Howard Stern was asking him about sexual things. Okay? That's what we're trying to determine, the reasons for why Trump did this. What do you think the reasons are? I'm going to write them down, be concise as possible.
Just to look. That's it. No riddle, no enigma. Just to look.
Why did he want to look?
Same reason that any man wants to look at a female body.
Which is?
They're gorgeous. We'll just keep it simple.
Okay. So
God's
why
great
did he
gift.
want to look at them because they were pretty? Why did he want to look at them because they're pretty?
That's a stupid question. I don't even know how to answer it.
Would it be because he is sexually attracted to them?
Possibly.
What are the other possible explanations?
Why do I enjoy looking at pretty things? I don't know, because I do. I don't know how to answer that.
Is there any other explanation outside of him being sexually attracted to them?
So if we want to go all the way to the other end of the spectrum, because he wanted to figure out which one he wanted to rape the most. Right? I mean, again, this is where I think that you conflate. You make it seem like that is the same thing as some dark alleyway, dude. Well, you do. You make it seem like it's the same thing, dude, and it's not. It's not. And any reasonable female
so this
out there
statement, he
knows.
wanted to figure out which one wanted to rape the most. Just to clarify,
joking.
this was a rape joke, right?
You're the one putting me in this box.
I just wanted to clarify.
What other reason could there be?
I just want to clarify. That's a rape joke, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. I think that you might be a sexual predator. I'm done with that guy. Actually deranged. I'm sorry for losing my cool, guys. We're going to move on to the next guest. Only up inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Let's go and get that next guest connected. We got 774 loading up inside of that box.
We are Dean winners!
Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. I don't think that continuing that last conversation would have been productive. So I kicked him. It's sad, man. It's so fucking sad. That shit makes me want to cry, bro. I'm not even trolling. That shit actually makes me want to cry, bro. Like, why do some people have to be like that, dude? Why? Why do some people have to be like that? God. We're gonna go to get the next guest connected. It's just so sad, man. It's so fucking sad. They will fight. They will fight tooth and nail to demean the lived experiences of victims. They will sign their fucking life away to protect, defend, and perpetuate sexual violence. I've just never come across a human more sad and despicable than that. They are sick in a metaphorical sense because of the dangerous and grotesque nature of what he was saying, and sick in a very literal sense because what possible attitudes, beliefs, and intentions could that man have held to lead him to believing and saying those things? Alicia, do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
18.
Oh, shoot.
Lacey's a child. What year were you born in, Alicia?
2008.
And,
January of 2008.
2 sentences or less. Why do you support Trump?
okay, so I just want to have a very deep conversation with you about.
Please don't lie to me. We're going to get the next guest loaded up into the live stream right now. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. We got our next guest loading in. We got Brandon Hill connecting to the live stream. Hey, do you support Trump?
Dean, help! It's me, Charlie Kirk. I need help.
We got Jinx loading in. Oh, fuck, dude. Well, I'll tell you, that conversation will only make me more patient. It's like, I think I hear the craziest thing that somebody could say. I hear the craziest thing that somebody could say. And then I kind of like push the boundary of my patience even further. So then the next time somebody says that same crazy thing, I won't just completely lose my cool on them. But then all of a sudden, somebody says something crazier. And honestly, for a long time there, I thought that I had met the final boss, and I couldn't hear anything crazier than a man who joined my live stream a couple months ago and asked me what's wrong with rape. But frankly, like I think we did in that last guess. Holton, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
I do.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
Yeah. What year are you born in?
2008, March 14th.
Okay. Feel free to bring him up, Santana. Just saw your text. Okay, let me thank a couple people here, and then I'll pass you that microphone. We had quite a couple people donate to the stream while we were talking to that last guest. Quite a couple people. Caroline, this came in literally 2 seconds ago. Thank you so much for the $50 donation on Venmo. That is fucking so kind of you. Let's get 500 Caroline W's. Thank you so much. Please do show some love to Caroline in that chat. That is ridiculously kind. Caroline with a $50 says, I'm so sorry, Dean, that you actually even speak to creeps like that guy. Please use this for takeout as you've already cooked today. Love and support as always. Well, thank you so much for the $50 for some takeout, Caroline. Let's get 500 Caroline W's. Same thing too, Via. Thank you for the $25 who says, man, that guy was so disgusting. I'm so sorry for some people in this world. Hope you're doing all right. So fucking disgusting, Via. Thank you for the $25. I really appreciate you. Rachel, thank you for the $5. Laura with the $2. Christina, thank you for the $5. And then Nicole with the $15 who says, for yelling at the rape apologist. Thank you. Well, thank you for the $15. We definitely did yell at that guy. I'm so surprised that we don't have a restriction on TikTok for harassment and bullying. How did I get away with that? Ian, thank you for the $20 who says that last guy was fucking sick and it breaks my heart that 2 kids have him as a father. Really? Was he a dad? I appreciate you for the $20, Ian. I had no clue that guy was a dad. Let's get 200 Ian W's down below in that chat. TL and Wes, do you guys support Trump?
I do. Yes, I do.
How old are you both, starting with TL?
I just turned 18.
What's your birthday?
My birthday is 2006. It is April 11th, 2006.
Wes, how old are you?
I'm 18.
What's your birthday?
April 3rd, 2008.
Okay. All right. Give me one moment here. Got a couple more people to thank. Jackie and Shannon, appreciate you both for the $5. Jenny with the $10 says, thank you for defending us when no one else will. Don't apologize ever. Thank you, Dean. Well, thank you for the $10, Jenny. And hey, man, for all the victims out there, I'm so fucking sorry that you had to listen to that last conversation, man. I can't imagine how triggering that must have been. Trey with the $7 says, most valid crash out I've ever seen. I try not to. Doug, thank you for the $20. Says, another quote-unquote, what the actual fuck payment, because what the fuck. Appreciate you for the $20, Doug. That was really fucked up. Joanna, I appreciate you for the $10. Brenda, thank you for the $10 as well. Ruth, thank you for the $10 who says, thank you for standing up to assholes like this guy. Peter, thank you so much for the $45 donation on Venmo, who says, I mean this from the bottom of my heart with every ounce of my being. 70 grade, what a sick, deplorable, awful coward, and the exact reason why powerful men continue to get away with sexually abusing women. Also, Deadpool hates Trump. Fuck you. Well, I'm sure that he's still listening, so I'm sure that he heard that, Peter. Thank you for the $45 donation. Show some massive, massive love to Peter in that chat. Same thing to Bridget with the $30 who says, mic drop, thank you for bringing awareness to this. I try my best, but honestly, I was so mad at that last guest that I kind of like lost the ability to communicate my intentions effectively and clearly there at the end. Thank you for the $30, Bridget. Same thing to Darcy. Thank you for the $50 who says, holy shit, fuck this guy, and scary that he's married and a father. Run, wife and kids, run. Oh my goodness, I couldn't agree more, Darcy. Thank you for the $50. Let's get 500 Darcy W's. And then Jessica, thank you for the $10 calling that last conversation exhausting. So true. JC with the $10. Thank you so much. Jewel with the $10 who says, dude, just saying the freaking quiet part out loud. Thank you if you're somehow involved in an entertainment industry that you had it coming regardless. If you think that if you're involved in an entertainment industry, you had it coming. Yeah, that was so fucking disgusting. And then Earl, I appreciate you for the $25 who says donation for kicking the SA Predator. We got him out of here. Appreciate you for the $25. Okay, thank you for the $20 who says this current guest is sick. 30 minutes ago, I do appreciate you for the $20. He was very sick. Yasina with the $15 says thank you. I appreciate you for the $15 as well as just for being here. Garrett with the $10 calling that last guest disgusting. Nikki and Cameron with the $5 each calling that last guest disgusting. Taylor and JC with the $5 calling that last guest disgusting. And there are so many more people to thank. I don't even know. You guys have been so fucking kind. We're going to go ahead and pass the mic to guests to start the debate, but here in a little bit, I'm just going to weave the thank yous into the conversation. Like, genuinely, you guys were so incredibly kind to me during that last debate. Why don't you take it away and tell us why you support Trump? And Madeline, thank you so much for the Lily the Leopard.
Okay, so I want to start off with saying I'm not really one to like argue, and like I'm really not going to try to make you mad. So I just want to have like a genuine debate without like pissing you off because you seem really upset. I'm going to be honest.
Don't worry. I support. You probably won't make me super upset. Also, for everybody watching, the guy that said that he was born in 2006 was kicked a while ago. This was the second guy.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so sorry, Ma. I'm like, okay. I support Trump mainly because of the fact that he's like America first. Like, he's okay, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I've heard multiple times all the videos you played about like him being a sexual predator and all that, but he does a lot of good stuff with like tax cuts and like making things more affordable. Yes, I know a lot of stuff has went up in prices since like I don't even know now, but I just feel like he does like a lot of good stuff besides all the bad that he does.
Like tax cuts?
Yeah. Like,
so the Center of Budget and Policy Priorities tells us that he's actually effectively increasing the taxes for the average American.
Okay, can you please go further into that?
Yeah, they tell us that people that make at or under $51,000 per year are hurt more by the cuts in the Big Beautiful Bill than they are helped directly by the tax cuts to their income brackets, alongside the fact that it takes healthcare away from 10 million low-income Americans at minimum and food stamps away from 3.
Okay, so I have actually noticed that, at least the way my parents have told me and grandparents, it's a lot of like the richer get richer, like the richer stay richer and the poor get poorer. And I see that, but I'm also kind of confused. Why is it that mainly all the older people are the ones that get more benefits and things like that from Trump?
I'm confused on the nature of the question that you're asking me. Why is it that older people get benefits in general, or why older people get benefits from Trump? I don't. Oh, like because like older people can't work, and we don't want them to just
so
die.
Like with the Medicare and like, you know, like some people like fetuses, they can't do anything. Some older people can't do things for themselves, and they need money and things like benefits like that to help take care of themselves.
I don't know where fetuses came from, but old people for sure.
Okay, that was a bit odd. Okay, but what about all these, you know, I've noticed a lot of people, as me, myself, a lot of people that like live in campers because they don't necessarily have the money to provide.
Do you live in a mobile home?
Yes, I do. And it's mainly because my parent...
You're like among the people that are hurt the most by Trump.
Right, and it's like my dad, he got hurt really bad, and he like can't go to work, and there's nothing that has helped. Like, and you know, like with Trump being
he's on disability.
Mm-hmm.
So you live in a mobile home and your dad's on disability, and you support Trump as president. What is one way that Donald Trump has helped your family?
One thing is the food stamps.
No, he took food stamps away from 3 million people under the Big Beautiful Bill. He has only made it harder to get food stamps, as well as he's defunded food stamps as a whole by $156 billion. The left made food stamps, and the right spends their time trying to take those food stamps away from people who need them, like your family.
Okay, so then I'm going to take it as Trump does not help.
Yeah, and listen, man, there are a lot of people just like you and your family that don't have too much money and live in areas where there isn't too much money and life isn't exactly the best, but for whatever reason, they're really right-leaning, meaning that they continually vote for representatives both on the local level and the national level that act out of their best interests and honestly keep you poor, if you want me to be honest. I live by a lot of areas like that. I'm in Colorado. A couple good examples are like the surrounding regions around Montrose, Colorado. Not too much money down there, quite poor, but they lean really far to the right, even though they are reliant on the social systems created by the Democrats that the right, including people like Trump, want to take away from you.
Okay. I'm seeing a lot of people saying that I'm uneducated and want to be educated. I'm gonna put that out first. Yes, that is true. I was kind of wondering if you can just kind of give me an example on money that he's taken away from people that need it.
I already have. I'll give you a couple more examples, and I'm going to move on to the next guest because I think you just benefit more from watching the stream. Okay? He defunded food stamps by $156 billion, meaning that he cut $156 billion worth of funding for food, okay, for families like you, that you belong to. He defunded Medicaid by $1 trillion and took it away from 10 million low-income Americans. He let an ACA subsidy expire, basically defunding healthcare by another couple $1 billion. That has now increased the premiums upwards of 300% on 45 billion Americans. I mean, the less money you have, the more that you've been hurt by the Trump administration, according to every institution of economic research. Also, Audrey, take a look at your phone screen. We accepted you into the live. You just have to join.
Oh, okay. I was actually going to ask if we could go on a different topic.
Well, Wes, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move on. I think that you're going to take a lot more away by just watching the stream, my friend.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming up, Wes. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of people just like Wes that I know personally because I happen to live in a town where the average income is $31,000 per year, and that's household income. No, is that personal or household? Actually, yeah, I think that's household. Where I live, the average household income is $31,000 per year. So I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people like Wes. I know a lot of families like Wes's families. There are people that live in rural areas across America who don't have much at all that just love the right and love Trump. And I hate to see it. Audrey, welcome in. Do you support Trump? Aubrey, you are connected to the live stream. Aubrey is tired. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, do you support Trump?
Hi, I don't support either side. I wanted to get your opinion on why you support Democratic.
So I support progressives because they make our country better. But Aubrey, we are just looking for people that do at the minimum support the right. But I hope you have a good rest of your day. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only do hop inside of the queue if you happen to be... Oh, fuck. I wish I would have saw that text before I kicked Santana. We got Happy Healer loading up inside of the live right now. Rana Lee, this came in 40 minutes ago. Thank you so much, Rana Lee, for the $50 donation on Venmo. Thank you so much, Rana Lee. That is RONALEE. Thank you so very much. Rana Lee with a $50 says, thank you for all that you do, Dean. I've been watching for a while now, and you've definitely helped me out a lot with being able to debate MAGA on my own time. You keep me informed, so I thank you for that. Well, thank you, Rana Lee, for the $50. I really do appreciate you very, very much so. That is a bunch of money, and I'm very, very grateful for you. Let's get 500.